Happening right now on WCNC Charlotte, shaping the future of the Queen City. What our city will look like in 20 years, debated by dozens of passionate people. We're verifying the facts that could impact your neighborhood.
Very eye-grabbing, very attention-grabbing, and we want those to be the center of conversation.
Finding safety solutions. There's a push to stop the violence in Charlotte. The new message you'll be seeing around town.
I'm tracking a low-pressure system along the coast that could bring some rain. I'll let you know what to expect in that first warn forecast.
Breaking at this hour, an active shooter investigation. Police on scene of a Colorado grocery store after reports of gunfire. New information from inside that store. And later, our Verify team answering your questions about the COVID vaccine. Does a failed antibody test mean a failed vaccine? The answer from the experts. It's Monday, March 22nd. WCNC Charlotte News at 11 starts right now.
Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Fred Shropshire.
And I'm Sarah French. We're going to begin with this, all new at 11. A heated debate going late into the night about the future of Charlotte. Charlotte City Council listening to public comments about the Charlotte 2040 plan. That's the city's plan for development over the next 20 years. It includes everything from transportation to affordable housing and new zoning ordinances. There is plenty to sort through with this plan. It can be confusing, so let's verify the facts. Our Hunter Signs joins us live. Hunter, a lot to discuss here about a plan that will impact everyone here in Charlotte.
It certainly could, Sarah. If passed the way it is, this would completely transform the way Charlotte looks over the next several decades. Some 109 people signed up to talk about this before City Council, and it was all about this 318-page 2040 comprehensive plan. As you can imagine, there is a lot in it. I've been digging through it page by page. We simply don't have enough time in the newscast to get to it all, but here are some of the highlights. If it is passed the way it currently is written, the plan would make every neighborhood a 10-minute neighborhood where all essential goods and services like grocery stores, healthcare clinics, banks, and schools are just a 10-minute walk, bike ride, or transit ride away. The plan would also increase mobility to reduce traffic. It would also increase diversity and inclusion in every neighborhood by making it easier to build different types of homes in all neighborhoods. This is one of the more controversial ideas in the plan that's caused a bit of confusion. So let's set the record straight. A main question that I've been getting is, are we getting rid of single-family zoning? My source tonight is the Charlotte 2040 Comprehensive Plan itself. According to the plan, it does not get rid of single-family zoning. The plan states that it would allow duplex and triplex housing units on all lots where single-family housing is allowed. That basically means single-family-only neighborhoods could be transformed with duplexes and triplexes if landowners want to build them, but the plan does not stop you from building a single-family home. Still, some are split on the issue.
Worries over property values falling when duplexes, triplexes, and quadruplexes are allowed in the neighborhood are simply unsubstantiated. In fact, the opposite is true. Dilworth, Plaza Midwood, and Myers Park are prime examples where this type of density is already hiding in plain sight.
If we do not protect the option of exclusive single-family zoning, such an option will become fewer and even more unaffordable. Those wishing to raise a family in a single-family home will have to look to move further out from the city.
Now, this plan, as written, got so much pushback over the past several weeks and tonight that Mayor Vi Lyles actually postponed the timeline of it possibly passing. It was supposed to come before the entire council next month. That's been pushed back a few months, and it could be voted on by June 30th. But we can verify tonight that this will not get rid of single-family zoning. In Plaza Midwood, Hunter Signs, WCNC Charlotte.
All right, Hunter, thank you. Well, do you have something you'd like us to verify? We're here to help. Just email us at verify@wcnc.com or reach out to us on social media with your questions.
Tonight, there's a new movement in the works to stop the violent crime that continues to impact too many families in Charlotte. It comes on the same day CMPD was on scene of yet another homicide, this time in West Charlotte. Officers found one person dead inside of a car on Tuckasegee Road. New tonight, our Brianna Harper explains how a community effort is now seeking solutions to this gun violence.
It's big, it's bold, and it's a message to stop the violence that the creators hope you can't miss wherever you are throughout Charlotte.
We want the entire community aware that this campaign is going forward.
Billboards everywhere. Much like a campaign the city of Charlotte first saw back in 1993, a year when there was an all-time high of 129 murders. Last year, the city fell just short of that record, but the goal is to avoid yet another deadly repeat.
Coming off the heels of 2020 being such a tragic time, and then you couple that with us going into the summer of 2021, when we'll have all these relaxed restrictions, or at least we anticipate that from COVID, there's a potential for that to really just be a powder keg.
That's where the 100 Black Men of Greater Charlotte plan to step in. It's a local chapter of a national organization whose goal is to mentor African American youth. But they say they also want to help keep them alive, too. We're told these billboards are just one step to help stop the gun violence.
Provocative pictures, right? Very eye-grabbing, very attention-grabbing, and we want those to be the center of conversation.
And next, they want to connect with anti-violence resources with the city, county, and community groups, specifically with an emphasis on de-escalation.
Arguments that ended in death, right? And so if we can get to something as simple as getting to a great conflict resolution.
And finally, hosting multiple community panels to gather different perspectives from all.
We were extremely intentional around this program. Right. So as far as partnering with CMPD to really understand where the pockets within Greater Charlotte are from a crime perspective.
And the 100 Black Men of Charlotte are preparing to host their first community panel on April 1st. The organization says they're also looking to grow their community partnerships. So if you're interested and want to get involved, just visit our website at WCNC.com, where you'll find a link included in this story. Reporting in North Charlotte, Brianna Harper, WCNC, Charlotte.
Charlotte City leaders also working on the crime problem tonight. Counselors voted to further along the Safe Charlotte program. It addresses crime specifically with programs designed for at-risk youth and dedicating $1 million for nonprofits working in violence prevention. The Safe Charlotte plan also makes improvements in policing and addressing more systemic issues that looks to boost the community.
And really, this opens up doors for many, many organizations who are working at the grassroots level, and they will have resources to help us address the violence in our communities.
Tonight's vote helps determine the funding for some of those grants. Council votes and approves the program. They voted and approved the program last year.
Breaking late tonight, a heartbreaking story at a Colorado grocery store. In the past 30 minutes, we learned at least 10 people died after an active shooter attack in Boulder. One of the deceased, a Boulder police officer. You can see here both the scene and investigation are still very much active at this hour. Dan Shinneman joins us with the latest.
We have multiple calls coming from inside of people that have barricaded themselves inside.
Police swarmed a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado.
Super shooter is inside. He just shot at us twice.
Josh Springwood thought he heard gunshots as he pulled up to the store.
And then that's when we saw the body and knew that it was indeed gunshots, and we had to get out of there as quick as possible.
Some 4 hours after the initial 911 call, police said the threat was over.
We know of 10 fatalities at the scene, including one of our Boulder PD officers by the name of Eric Talley, who's been on the Boulder Police Department since 2010.
A man was spotted in handcuffs being led away from the scene. Police say one person is in custody.
We have one suspect in custody. I want to reassure the community that they are safe.
Near the scene, Stephen McHugh waited anxiously. His granddaughters were in the store, and they're okay.
You know, every city is susceptible, but there's a way in which I would think that, well, this wasn't going to happen in Boulder. And now we know better.
A procession drove the fallen officer away from the scene. Authorities say the investigation is in the early stages. Dan Shanneman, NBC News.
And if we get any new information as this story develops, we'll update the story inside the WCNC Charlotte app. It's free at your app store. An animal park worker recovering tonight. 2 wolves attacked her at the Conservator Center in Caswell County over the weekend. A center spokesperson says one of its professionally trained animal keepers was bit several times. Animal control says the wolves bit both her arms and her thigh when she was in a cage with them. The center says she interacts with wolves on a daily basis as a part of her job. Deputies say she was taken to the hospital and her injuries are not life-threatening. This is the same animal shelter, by the way, animal center, I should say, where an intern died in a lion attack in 2018.
We're in the middle of a bad allergy season in the Carolinas, and Brad, it's not getting much better in the coming days.
Yeah, you know, the wind we had today, Sarah, really contributed to a lot of those high allergen levels out there. Pollen just blowing all over the place. You could blame this area of low pressure, which is sitting off the coast. It's not producing that much rain, but it is still producing some gusty winds along the coast. We've got a bigger system that should give us some relief in the form of rain, but it's still a couple days away. It's not going to get here until later this week. It's really warm out there tonight because of those clouds coming in from the coast, acting like a little bit of a blanket sitting over us. So tomorrow, as you wake up, temperatures will be in the lower 50s, but with all the clouds around, it's probably going to be a struggle to get back into the 60s, especially with that east-northeast wind persisting most of the day. But coming up, we're going to talk about a big warm-up and the chance of some thunderstorms by the end of the week.
Okay, Brad, thank you. New at 11, the city of Rock Hill voting to rescind its mask mandate. The decision came down to a 5-2 vote from city council. The ordinance had been in place since last summer. The move to get rid of it follows South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster's executive order earlier this month to lift a statewide mask mandate. Critics say it was nearly impossible to enforce, and wearing masks should be left up to citizens.
Once this mandate is taken off the books, anybody can walk in any store without a mask and have no regards for the employees at that business. And if don't nobody else speak up for those individuals, we as public servants should address that and speak up for them.
The numbers are going down, and it's time to take a mandate off and let the citizens decide for themselves if it's their need to protect themselves.
Along with lifting the mandate, the council also approved a resolution to recommend CDC COVID-19 safety guidelines. Coming up, we're asking where's the money after some of you told us you only got half of your stimulus payment.
And our Verify team is getting you answers about the COVID vaccine. Does a negative antibody test mean a failed vaccine? Our experts weigh in after the break.